See you laid out on the floor, try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more, claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son, actions over words, baby boy, is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come back sports, talking way too much, world come back sports, talking way too much, world come back
Yo, big shout out to the hottest chat in the MF and game. Most of all, happy Veterans Day to the veterans. Thank you all. Much appreciated. I don't really say thank you for your service deal because it just seems a bit over-ending. But I appreciate everyone who made the sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of us, you know what I'm saying, that made the sacrifice whenever you selected to do so. You know, we can be thankful for just having the opportunity to serve our country. Even in the midst of all this controversy that takes place all the time, we still in the best country you can be in. With the controversy, with you know, our way of living, we do have freedom over here. Everybody's gonna have their own restrictions depending on where your freaking geographical location is. But salute to a solid time, a great time. You know what I'm saying? The sacrifice is what it is. I know in the Marine Corps, they say if you have an issue, you know, we didn't ever promise you anything. You signed up to come in here. You volunteered to come into the military. So, you know, we didn't force you in here. It wasn't like it was a draft, you know. But Veterans Day is one of those annual days. To be honest, it should be all year round, really. But to the vets, we don't sit up here and ask for anything. We understand totally the ones that care enough to reach out on Veterans Day and say what's up. We understand. I want to say give a shout out to the ones who reached out, you know, via the YTC. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Gumbo, AK Hot Grease. I appreciate you, man, for reaching out. Toby Bartlett, I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Thank y'all for reaching out. Arnold Brown, appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody. Those are the ones that reached out to me on this YouTube. And I don't sweat it. You know, you can talk to people all day long. When it comes to Veterans Day, not everybody is going to show you love. And, you know, hey, you just have to keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not up to them to show you love on Veterans Day. Some people don't care, simply. Conquest. In Conquest, you know, 2915. Thanks for you know, reaching out. You know what I'm saying? And those on Facebook, you know, shout out to the fam for reaching out. Appreciate y'all. You know, we got some boxing talk, you know, of some information that's coming out. You know, we have some trainers that's talking. You know, primarily the trainer of Gervonta Davis was pretty much speaking about the reason why he believes what he believes about Keyshawn Davis won that fight so bad. And we've heard this before, but we're going to go through an article because, you know, reading is awesome. You know what I'm saying? Reading is awesome. Shout out to Jay in the building. Salute to you. Swat Jones on deck. I appreciate you, man. Debbie says salute to you. Cal, happy Veterans Day. I appreciate you, man. No doubt. Appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Thank you to everyone who reached out on this Veterans Day to the brother. You know what I'm saying? Let's get down to this article. Tank's trainer exposes. This is via Boxing News 24. Tank's trainer exposes Keyshawn Davis. It's all about the money. It starts. Gervonta Tank Davis trainer Kenny Ellis revealed the truth behind The truth behind Keyshawn Davis' desire for a title shot against the king of the lightweight division. It's the money. Ellis say that the number 3 ranked WBC, number 3 ranked WBO, Keyshawn, 12-0, 8 knockouts, knows that it would be his biggest payday. If he gets the title shot against WBA champion Tank Davis, 30-0, 28 knockouts, so he's pushing hard to get that cash. It won't matter if Keyshawn is blown out of the water by Tank because he'll be rich by Norfolk standards. Ooh, and it'll be all gravy from then on. He said it'll be rich by Norfolk standards. Norfolk is not a cheap place to stay. Damn, it's not a cheap place to stay. It goes on. Keyshawn wants the Tank payday. Coach Ellis says Keyshawn 25 is trying to divert the fans' attention away from his need to fight Cuba's Andy Cruz, who schooled him in the 2020 Olympic finals, beating him soundly. Cruz ruined Keyshawn's chances to become a gold medalist in the Olympics, and he's repeatedly dismissed the idea of fighting him in the pro ranks. Do y'all agree with that? It seems like he's trying to reduce Andy Cruz's value at 135 pounds. Though Andy Cruz's first fight as a professional was a 10-rounder. It says Cruz beat Keyshawn so badly in the 2020 Olympics that he seemed to lose the sense of reality afterward, celebrating as if he won the fight, running around the ring waving his hands. It was like he was out of touch with what had just happened. Cruz dominated him once again. As Ellis pointed out, Cruz would ruin Keyshawn's chance of getting a fight against the king of the lightweight division, Gervonta Davis. If Keyshawn gets dominated by Andy Cruz, which is reasonable to assume, he would never be given that chance. Keyshawn would return from whence he came, fighting second-tier fighters like he's been steadily doing since turning pro in 2021. He says, second tier. In quote, even when he loses to Gervonta Davis, Keyshawn knows it would be his biggest payday. So he's trying to stir everyone away from him fighting Andy Cruz because he knows Andy Cruz will blow his shot at Gervonta Davis, just like he blew his shot at the Olympic gold. Oh, kidding. God damn. You coming in here as the goddamn Jinsu master. Attack. Blade Kung Fu Ha. I mean, he's hitting you with the goddamn Kumite. He's hitting you with the goddamn nine blade sword attack. It goes on to say, letting his followers know what's really behind Keyshawn Davis' big push to get a world title shot against the king of the lightweight division. The casual fan don't know what's really going on. I hope the people in Norfolk, Virginia, ain't falling for the trickery. I'm sure the real men in Norfolk want Keyshawn to get that smoke back. Ellis said about the knowledgeable fans wanting Keyshawn to try to avenge at least one of the 4 defeats he suffered at the hands of Cuban talent Andy Cruz. No lies were told by Coach Ellis in the Instagram post, exposing the truth behind Keyshawn Davis wanting Tank Davis to fight so badly. It's the money. From that fight alone, Keyshawn would get paid millions and would be able to buy a beautiful house in his hometown of Norfolk, Virginia. Andy Cruz awaits. Keyshawn needs to deal with his inner demons and face his conqueror, Andy Cruz, and just give it a try. At least his path to the chance to fight Tank Davis, because the direction he's going now, he would never get the opportunity. Selecting slow guys like Gustavo Lemos from the 140-pound division is not the way to get a title shot at Tank. It won't matter if Keyshawn's career never amounts to anything, because he'll have made the cash from a fight against Tank. In other words, he'll be another Edgar Berlanga and could parade around the back of the truck, being adored by Norfolk fans after losing the Tank. If Keyshawn is competitive with Tank and goes the distance, he'll be praised by fans for having given him a run for his money. On the other hand, if Keyshawn gets blown out by Tank, which is likely, he'll be given a free pass because of his inexperience. He'll be given a participation trophy for having fought Tank. Tank will receive zero credit for the fans because he chose an unproven fighter with a 12-0 record filled with wins over all scrubs. Keyshawn hasn't beat any of the top 15 contenders from the lightweight division. From the lightweight during his pro career. Not one. Hey, I will say this. Kenny Ellis went in on that. You know what I'm saying? And look, unless you know Kenny Ellis, he don't talk much like that. You know what I'm saying? He don't. But he went in on Tank. Hold on for a second, y'all. I'm back. Let's see what the chat is. Shout out to Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz, and more. Salute, bro. I wonder why Doug Fisher didn't get back to me. Ring got sold to the Sheik. Okay. Appreciate that info. Yeah, we know that because he took the WBA off BoxRec and all that. Yep. Mike, salute to you. He said, WCS and chat fam, salute to you, sir, for your service. I appreciate you, man. Real talk. Thank you. So Kenny Ellis, if you know who he is, man, he's not the one to really chime in like that. For real. You see him around, he don't say much. I'm kind of the same way. I talk on here, but I'm out on my I don't say I'm not really a talker like that, but he went in and said some very poignant type, jabs at Keyshawn Davis and saying that he wants the Gervonta Davis fight for a paycheck. And yes, people can look at Tank's record, like I said earlier, and they feel that they can scrutinize it from top to bottom. But what you cannot scrutinize in comparison to other fighters is that deny that Tank is a pay-per-view star. people come out to see Tank. They come out to see Tank. Now, look, it's a lot that I can't blame Keyshawn for doing, because I did a live stream and said that the black fighters have to find a way to put themselves in line or on the roster to be in the next phase of the boxing. That means not being a Canelo, because that's over, but being a fighter that can make the amount of money and draw in the consumers to come see you fight. And that's where Keyshawn is excelling at. You know what I'm saying? Don't. He's doing an outstanding job. I cannot sit up here and hold him one bit on what he's doing. He's doing a lot when it comes to the business side that I was doing at 25. I was in the service. You know what I'm saying? I was in the service during that time. But what he's been able to do in boxing on his hometown, I salute him. But this don't have anything to do with, at the moment, you know, celebrating Keyshawn. It's trying to figure out, is he in over his head against Tank right now? Is Kenny Ellis spot on with saying that Keyshawn Davis is looking for a payday? And look, is he right in the fork in the road where if Gervonta Davis beat Keyshawn Davis, he's going to get minimal credit because Keyshawn haven't quite developed yet in the professional ranks? Or on the other side of the fork in the road, they're going to say, hey, let's throw him a parade. He's going to get a participation trophy for going the distance with Tank. Is that something that's out of the ordinary? Did we see it happen with Edgar Berlanga? Yeah. He was in the streets praising like he beat Canelo, but he got a participation trophy for going the distance. This is where it comes into a play where you have to say, is he ready yet? Does Kenny Ellis have a legitimate point? Is it going to be one of those fights that people really want to see? Because he's already saying, I don't know why. This is befuddling to me that you would say you don't need Tank. If you don't need Tank, then why are you at the 135-pound division? You need every champion that's there. If you're trying to take full advantage and maximize your presence in the 135-pound division, you need every champion there because you want to fight him. Now, you have to ask yourself also, with Lomachenko just sitting up there on vacation, why didn't Keyshawn call out a champion that's in his sanctioning body? If y'all can explain that to me on Veterans Day. Why didn't Keyshawn call out a champion in his sanctioning body? Because he's not ranked in the WBA, but he's ranked in the WBC, IBF, and the WBO. Why didn't you take that initiative to call out one of those champions? If you're going to narrow it down to 3/4 because you have eliminated Shakur Stevenson has been, one of the champions that you're going to fight, then outside of Gervonta Davis, because you're not ranked in the WBA, it leaves Baranchyk and freaking Vasyl Lomachenko. Vasyl Lomachenko is right there for the taking. You get a Lomachenko on your record for a win with a championship, people are going to say, okay, we accept that. Even with the losses that Lomachenko has, they're going to say, okay, we accept that. You run in there and you outbox Lomachenko. Or does Lomachenko still have enough for Team Davis to say, I don't know if we want to take that fight right now. Lomachenko's still dangerous. There's a reason why you ain't calling the old guy out. It's a reason. Seriously, it's a reason why they're not calling the old guy out, bro. I mean, I'm just saying. It tells me Lomachenko is there for the taking, and it's not happening. You know what I'm saying? It's not happening at all. I don't know what that's about. But you have to look at it like this too. Kenny Ellis is telling the truth when he said Keyshawn is going to get the highest payday of his career. I really don't care what a fighter does with their money because they're the ones stepping in the ring, earning it, the paycheck. I don't really care about what they buy. You know, they buying a house and all that because it's boxing at the end of the day. It doesn't have a retirement plan, right? But also you have to sell it to the people that you're genuinely focused on believing that you can go in there and beat Tank Davis. You got to sell it to the people. I'm just not sold yet. I'm not sold. You know, the reason why I'm not sold because, you know, like they also inserted in here, which I don't really like to Keyshawn just every time he get flustered, you know, like he started dropping the F-bomb on this interview about Andy Cruz. He said, you know, pretty much, I don't like how y'all be, you know, dressing that up. I don't like how y'all wording that like I'm ducking Andy Cruz. I'm not ducking him. That's a fact. I'm not ducking him. We always try to make that fight and they didn't want to fight. And you know, he could be telling the truth. He couldn't. But it is a guy who beat you 4 times in the amateurs. Why are these guys coming to the amateurs and don't want to fight the same guy? And a lot of you are lucky. You're lucky to have the guy in your same division that beat you in the amateurs. At least it allows you to get paid for it if you select to fight that guy. Who wouldn't come and see Keyshawn Davis and Andy Cruz? Bud Crawford is your mentor, right? I mean, he has to be something outside of your trainer. Bud Crawford had took some very competitive names back to Omaha. He fought Yorkis Gamboa, that Keyshawn Davis, in Omaha, Nebraska, when Gamboa was undefeated. A killer in Gamboa in his hometown of Omaha when he was undefeated. I know that didn't have anything to do with the amateurs. I'm just saying when it comes to taking the top tier, you know, opponents, don't call them, oh, they're a bum now based off the opponents. I mean, based off the wins and losses now. When Bud Crawford took him home, he was undefeated and he fought him in his backyard. Who's to say you can't fight Andy Cruz in Norfolk again? People show up to see that because they knew you was in the Olympics, right? They was praising and they was saying all this glory that Keyshawn won a silver medal in the Olympics. But yet, when the same guy who prevented you from winning gold in the Olympics, you and him are both active professionals right now. It took him a little bit longer to cross the waters to get over here and make things pop. But now he's here and he's building up his record just like you. People will want to see that fight. No doubt about it. Shout out to Toby on deck, man. I see you. What's good with it? As I said earlier, thanks for giving me a shout out, man, for Veterans Day. I appreciate it, Toby. Let's talk about Bam Rodriguez. I was praising Bam Rodriguez for, you know, being able to accomplish what he's been able to accomplish. The WBA super flyweight champion, Martinez, a younger champion than some of the people that Bam has beaten, questions why WBC champ just Bam Rodriguez isn't calling him out for unification. The 2016 Olympian Martinez, 17-09 knockouts, believe Bam Rodriguez saw him win over Kazuto Ioka on July 7th, and now he doesn't want to fight him. In other words, the 24-year-old Bam recognized that could be too risky of a fight for him. So he'll stick fighting older guys like Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez. Well, let's say this, okay, to anyone to have something to say about him fighting Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez. A legend, you know what I'm saying, has a lengthy trail of paperwork, of accolades, achievements. He is that dude when it comes to being in sport as long as he's been in. So, of course, Bam fighting him It would be a nice one, just like people still fighting Lomachenko. It looks good on their resume if they win. Now I can see where Fernando Martinez is coming from, but I will say this. When they say older guys, let's take a look. It says fighting Fernando Martinez could potentially spoil Bam Rodriguez's money-making career as he's been maneuvered well by puppet master Eddie Hearns, one of the best in the business. Hearn has created a formula that matches Bam against a string of old lions, which is well known to hardcore boxing fans to have lost their fang and claw due to advancing age. So now we're talking about age again. I must go back to the killer machine, the mercenary, Arthur Beterbiev. What is he on? Is he on that premium Geritol with an extra kick of creatine? I'm just wondering, what is he on? Because that guy was able to chug a lug and keep it stepping. You know what I'm saying? All the way to the final bell. Now, as we just seen, Jaron Ennis, who is 27, and Karen Chukazakin just fought. And the Ukrainian is 28 years of age, just a little bit outside of Jaron Ennis. But should we sit up here and blame Bam Rodriguez for his daddy having that night out with his mama? I mean, y'all act like Bam was supposed to knock on the door. Like he was supposed to knock on the door and say, hey, Papa. Hey, hold up. I know you about to put me into life existence. And it seems like you and mom is having a wonderful time. But before you do that, I'm working on this other situation where possibly I can be born a little bit earlier. You know what I'm saying? Because I have a plan. I'm going to be in the lighter divisions. I have a plan to go in there so I won't be considered a young fighter taking advantage of older fighters. So I'm waiting on them, try to get it together. They're in the process of, making up or whatever. I think she called him texting another female or whatever. But I think they might potentially be my parents too. You know what I'm saying? But I got two to choose from. But I'm just trying to figure out when I want to, be born and what time I really want to, make my presence known in professional boxing. I'm going to be a professional boxer. That's what I'm saying? So Bam's recent wins, Pedro Guevara, 34. He just stopped the other night, 34 years of age. Juan Francisco Estrada, 35. But he was just on the pound for pound list, a year ago? Sir Rungfasai, former champion, somewhat considered a legend, been in there with the top names, Carlos Cudras, 36 years of age. Are you talking about when Bam fought them? Let's do some research. Are they talking about when Bam fought them? Because we can't do that. We can't do that. So this is what I'm going to do. Because if they're talking about, Eddie Hearns, and I have to say this, Eddie Hearns is somewhat of the puppet master. I've said that about him and Anthony Joshua, him orchestrating Anthony Joshua's freaking, moves, ebbs and flows through boxing. So this article right here said Carlos Cudras, 36 years of age. Okay. Juan Francisco Estrada, 35 years of age. That's what they're saying. But if you go over here to BoxRec, Juan Estrada is 34 years of age. You know what I'm saying? He's 34 years of age. Let's see what Roman Gonzalez is right now. He's 37. So I'm guessing they got that right. Right? No, they didn't even put Chocolatito up there. Let me see. Let me see if they put it up in the article. They say so he'll stick to fight older guys like Chocolatito is 37 years of age. Let's look for another one right quick. Let's go to Carlos Kudras, 36 years of age. They might have got that right. So they got one wrong, but this is my whole point for doing that. They wasn't this age when Bam Rodriguez fought them. Okay? That's all I'm saying. When people talk about old fighters and you fought them 2 years ago, 3 years ago, you're BSing the readers. Because you're basically giving them an age now, and he's not fighting them now. He fought them previously. The article goes on to say this. Fernando wants Bam to face him. He saw me fight Kazuto Ioka, and now he doesn't mention me anymore. Why don't you say that you want to fight me? After Ioka on December 31st, I'm ready for you. Do you want to unify or not? Said Fernando Martinez to just Bam Rodriguez. It would mean much more if Bam Rodriguez were to fight Fernando Martinez next, but given how talented the Argentinian is, it's unlikely Hearns will make the fight. Now, of course, you have to understand there's authors that pretty much insert a lot of negative helium into these articles, a bias. They're good for that. They make these articles sometimes lean heavy on the ex parte, and you have to pretty much decode what is fact and what is fiction. It says Bam had all kinds of problems in his fight against the young go-getter Israel Gonzalez on September 17, 2022. He won a hard-fought 12-round unanimous decision in Las Vegas. That fight took a lot out of Bam, and he was lucky to get through without getting knocked out. See, this author obviously doesn't like Bam Rodriguez, but reading from the nesting egg of criticism and controversy, this is Boxing News 24. This is how they lay eggs. This is how they lay eggs. For real. They will sit up here and lay eggs without a problem. Since then, Hearns has matched Bam Rodriguez against Christian Gonzalez, Sonny Edwards, Estrada, and Guevara. Those fighters were not as young and hungry as Israel Gonzalez. Last Saturday, Bam, 21-0, 14 knockouts, successfully defended his WBC 115-pound title, knocking out Pedro Guevara, 42. So you had Guevara up here, and then you have Guevara down here. Anyway, pay attention to shit like that. 42-5-1, 22 knockouts in the third round at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia. Bam Rodriguez had a massive size and youth advantage over the 35-year-old Guevara and quickly dropped him twice in the third round to get the knockout. After the fight, Rodriguez spoke about wanting to fight the 37-year-old Chocolatito next. Now, let's talk about Bam Rodriguez. Yes, he looked bigger than Guevara. Yes, absolutely. But you're talking about a guy who had dropped back down to fly and not considered a weight bully. It's not like Bam Rodriguez has a history of bantamweight and super bantamweight and dropping back down to fly to pick up a title and then jumping up to super fly when he's been up to bantamweight and super bantamweight before. No, that's not the case with Bam. He says Martinez has a rematch with Ioka. The Argentinian Fernando, 33, will be fighting a rematch against Kazuto Ioka, 31 victories, 3 defeats, and 1 draw, and 16 knockouts on December, to clear up the controversy over the previous fight on July 7th in Tokyo, Japan. Now, check this out. Fernando, right? 33 years old. But this whole article is talking about Fernando. It's like he's in the 20s like Bam. Like I said, Bam couldn't prevent his entry into life. He couldn't sit up there and say, hey, hold up. I know y'all about to get busy. I know, man, both of y'all seem like y'all been sipping on the margaritas and everything. And you know, if you're going to be my pops, I see you got that blue chew up. I see you on that blue chew. I seen you take it. Now you got to figure this out, man. My plans is to be a boxer. So you really, is this going to be moms? Because I want y'all to be together. I'm going to need that support, goddammit. Ben Rodriguez had they say he had a massive size advantage. I didn't say I don't think about no, it was massive, but he was bigger than Guevara, who never been stopped. There was little doubt among fans who deserved the victory in the Martinez-Ioka fight last July, but the wide score of 120 to 108 tainted the outcome. Martinez will get a big payday in the rematch with Ioka, and that makes it worthwhile. It also allows Martinez to shut down the controversy from their previous fight. Hey, coming right here from the information center itself, boxing is a business. So if by chance, Jess Rodriguez, selects the fight, the legend himself, Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez, then do that. I mean, he's already did some things, whether people want to say he fought none but old fighters. Come on, man. Did Juan Estrada have a belt? Did Sonny Edwards have a belt? Was Sor Rungvisai set to fight for the WBC, man, before he got COVID? Yes. You know what I'm saying? The Juan Estrada put in a petition to become franchise champion and then allowed the belt to open up the Ben Rodriguez. Is it his fault that he went up there and fought Carlos Cuadras for the WBC? No, it's not his fault. He got the job done. Not only that, he didn't vacate it and jump back down the division. He defended it against Rungvisai and stopped him. But I guess it was all old, right? It was just old, right? But you're not going to hear this from freaking in a way, because when he fought Nonito Donaire a second time, he went the distance with Donaire, and Donaire was already at around the age that they're talking about these fighters, and even Donaire was able to go the distance. You know what I'm saying? But they don't use this type of discretion when it comes to, in a way, he don't get that. But shout out to Ben for doing what the hell you're supposed to do, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him. I don't know if y'all been paying attention, right? But Brian Norman Sr. has came out the shadows from laughing at Boots Ennis. Let me see, can I pull that up right quick? And we're going to get to this again. Let me see, can I pull up the right video? Okay. Let's take the shout to FightHype.com. This is FightHype.com's freaking footage. Once again, I have to go up top, put this out here, this content disclaimer. But let's take a look at what Brian Norman Sr. had to say in response to Boots Ennis coming off that fight with Karen Chukagian.
Y'all doing all right out there? Everybody okay? You know, some of y'all motherfuckers on suicide watch. Y'all like, hey, y'all can't talk that shit to me no more now. Bro, I'm betting on the knockout. That nigga going to sleep. He can't fuck with us, bro. Is this your team? Is this your team? Is this your team? Fuck out of here. Y'all will give me my respect. I pointed this out before this fight ever fucking happened. I told you, the nigga regular, it's just extreme, beautiful matchmaking. Now y'all seeing the real. The nigga is a regular fucking fighter. You better run the 54. You still coming up there too. You gonna get this work.
And that was Brian Norman Sr., the father of Brian Norman Jr., of course. If you go back in time just a little bit, yes, they was in negotiations with Ennis, which truly it fell out for whatever reasons. Eddie Hearn did not want that fight to go through. If Boxing News 24 knows that Eddie Hearns is the puppet master of boxing, then y'all can't feel no type of way when I've told you all about Joshua. This was back in 2018, y'all. Back in 2018, I was saying that Anthony Joshua was overrated and a manufactured champion that Eddie Hearns was, had in the protection committee to raise him up with those belts. Now he signs Ennis, right? And he permits the negotiations to drop out. Didn't want to appease Team Norman Jr. Why? Because it was a dangerous fight. And as we said before, and I told you I'll mention it, is that at the end of the day, when you say that you watched Brian Norman's last fight against Giovanni Santillan, the way he stopped him in the 10th round was better than any fight that Boots has ever had on his resume. Period. You're talking about Santillan was 32 victories in, 0 defeats now. 32 victories in, 0 defeats. Once again, 32 victories in, 0 defeats. And that fight right there was fought on the inside, close quarters combat, punch for punch, strike for motherfucking strike. When you look at Jaron Ennis, you're talking about Norman Jr. fighting a 32-0 fighter, right? 32 and freaking 0. I'm not saying Jaron Ennis don't have no damn O's on this record. No, when it comes to his opposition. But let's take a little stroll right quick. Let's take a little stroll. This is Jaron Ennis' resume. 27 years old, right? He made us aware of that when he was, looking for the pity train to pull up. I'm 27 years old. I've been at this game for years now. Yeah, it's just part of me just couldn't pull the trigger. I was fumbling around for that trigger. God damn it, my the tip of my finger's not the same. I'm losing sensitivity in it. Anyway, as you look up here, 24-2 is Karen Chukaskin, a fighter who faced him twice, and he lost. That was the only 2 on this record. But if you look, David Avanesian, 30-4. Nobody gave him the respect that they gave Giovanni Santillan. Ramon Villa, 26-1, tailor-made opponent. But, he was coming off the momentum and the hype of inactive Rashidi Ellis. Okay? Custio Clayton, disappointed in you. He came in there undefeated and just laid down in 2 rounds. We ain't going to talk about Thomas Delorme, who was coming off consecutive losses prior to stepping in there. Sergey Lipinets, prior 140-pound champion, moved up to 147, had some fights, but he was a 140-pounder. Let's not trip now. Let's not sit up here and have amnesia like we don't use this at every other fighter. Oh, man, he was a lower weight class. What, man? Chris Van Heerden, Headbutt City. So what I'm saying is, when you look at Brian Norman's last fight with Giovanni Santillan, any fight on there, you can pick any fight on Boots' resume. But still, if you ask somebody, pick one fight that you want to watch on Jaron Ennis' resume without telling them your purpose, and then say, okay, which fight you want to watch on Brian Norman Jr.? They're going to say Giovanni Santillan. Why? Because a lot of what you look for in entertainment value, as far as the suspense, the intrigue, the climactic moment, the saga, the music plan, that shit right there, it was a really good, entertaining fight. I'm serious. I mean, the back and forth trading of both fighters, Santillan wasn't no joke. 32-0 victories, that wasn't no joke. Norman was touted to lose. He was set to lose. You know what I'm saying? Based off, the way he looked in his previous fights. But he turned the corner in that fight. He just went in there and said, you know what? This is not going to be one of those textbooks type of fights. I'm going to tell you, and no, I'm going to show you what my strategy is. It's going to be different than what you expected. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming in here and I'm going to show you what people talk about in sparring, but I'm going to do it under the bright lights. And that's exactly what happened. And at the end of the day, you heard what Brian Norman Sr. said about Boots. So he was on True Media today, right? And he was basically putting it out there that the reason why he was laughing the way he was simply because he felt that he had told people. It was a lot of people that was hyping Boots up when it came to Norman Jr., right? Based off sparring. And I even made comment that I thought it was a bad idea for Norman to be up here sparring with Boots because they was in the same division. And look what happened. They end up having a meeting. Where these fighters was coming to a point where they may have to fight each other. Now it starts to separate. All the union that they believe they had and respect, it started to slowly but surely separate itself. Detachment was front and center. We seen it play out. People was over there in Philly. Oh man, he's killing people in sparring. I put this out here. I said, it's easy to have all the convenience of sparring in your backyard. But it's a little bit different when you freaking go out and spar in different areas, right? We seen this shit go down with Spence. You know what I'm saying? Spence was out here and he was in there at the top secret Area 63 world-class furniture store where you go up there and they had infrared freaking security systems. You know, they can tell what you're thinking all the way up the road if you're coming to that gym or not. They have these advanced neural links. These freaking robots that's roaming the goddamn parking lot. But Errol Spence had freaking sparring come to him. Now look at where he's at. He's been so used to, Derrick James at the time and sparring coming in there. Then you see Jaron in and say, hey, I like just standing home. It seemed like he may be suffering a bit. It seems like the exposure of him dealing with those limitations and getting complacent is evident in his performance value as we seen last night. That's what it seems to me. That's what it exactly seems to me. As Brian Norman Jr., he's pretty much one of those travelers. Him and his pops will travel. And they was traveling up to Philly. They was going over here, going over there, just like a lot of other fighters do. They go travel to other people's, footprint and they get that work. Can we be mad at what Norman Jr., what Senior is talking about when it comes to Ennis? I hear y'all out there. Some of y'all up there basically saying he's hating. I heard somebody say, oh, you're trying to kick him while he's down. How can Ennis be down? He won the fight, right? So obviously the person that's saying that he tried to kick him when he's down, you yourself is co-signing that it wasn't a solid performance from Ennis. You know what I'm saying? So how can he be down and he never touched the canvas? He did earn a knockdown in the fight of Chukagian, right? He earned the knockdown. He got the victory. But it wasn't what the fight fans wanted to see. When asked if there was a fight, could there be a possible fight next year, 2025? Senior said, definitely. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. But if it's going to be in Philly, they're going to have to pay. And let me ask you this. Do you think the stock has went down for Jaron Ennis, even in a win? When you have that halo that's placed over you, right? And you have so many people that's touching you up with these compliments and trying to keep that glow bright, radiant. And then you go in there and you don't live up to what the expectations. You get the W, but it's not with the type of fashion for which the stage wasn't set properly. You know what I'm saying? The stage wasn't set properly. You know, as rounds kept going on and on and on, the talent show didn't get any better. That's what I was trying to say. Once you drew the curtains and it was time for a show, it wasn't it. So do y'all believe that Senior has a point with his criticism of Boots Ennis? Because I've been saying, I've been putting it out there, like, you didn't find one video when they was up here, the aerosexuals was trying to put their hand in Boots' back when they were saying, hey, Crawford, fight him, Crawford. Now they quiet and they're going to shut the fuck up and they're going to stay silent. Because when I was out here saying, like, I just don't see what y'all seeing thus far with the competition. And these cats were saying that I was hating on the brother. But now he goes in here and everybody's talking about how he didn't perform up to the standards of expectations, y'all. So how can it be just me? I have to put disclaimers out there on this nigga, right? This is boxing talk. This is boxing talk. This nothing personal. Boots seemed like a very cool dude. I seen him in person before. I never had no run-in with him. I'm talking about boxing talk. When I'm talking about him and his PR disasters, how many people are talking about he say the same thing now? A lot. But when I started talking about it, people want to overlook it and say, oh, man, you was just hating. I know. I put shit out there. I don't expect, people to co-sign on it. It's okay. It's okay. God blessed me different. He blessed me different. One day I might tell you what that blessing is, and it's gonna blow your freaking mind. But no, I can't do it now. But with Jaron Ennis and potential Norman Jr. fight, it'll be great if it happens next year. I think with everything that's been going on with the surgery, I would like to see Norman come back and get a fight in between just to test out that hand, because he is a power puncher. And his pop said it was his third surgery on that hand, I believe, hand surgery. So I definitely want that to be 1,000%. Because like I told you all, it's not like Ennis can't be hurt. Chikazigan, I believe that's his name. He doesn't punch with the power of Norman Jr. We know that. He had good footwork, coming with good angles. And this is where a bit of my strict criticism may hurt some feelings over there in Philly. How can you have a fighter with all this hype behind him, Bozy? And Jaron goes out here and tell the world that he ain't gonna change anything. Chukazigin is not gonna change anything. They're gonna come out and do the same thing. Why would you put that out to the media? Why would you let the fans know that you all are getting a little bit lazy? And just like Crawford put out there, let's go back to what Crawford said. It made fucking sense, didn't it? Crawford sent Boots this and he said, never get too comfortable in this game. Did he not? So putting it out to the fans that Chukazigin is not going to change up anything. So that means you all was expecting him to come out here and run. And then when the bell ring, you're taking snapshots because the nigga right there in front of you. He's right there in front of you. Oh, Papa, Papa, this is not what we talk about, Papa. He's right here, Papa. He's right in front of me, Papa. What I do, Papa? Papa. He was up there calling Papa. He put out to the general public that he ain't gonna change shit. Yo, Team Ennis, Jaron Ennis put out to the public that he felt Chukazigin wasn't gonna change shit. He's gonna come in there and do the same thing. Jerron, I'm saying that was some dumbass shit you did. That is like giving a game plan on what your thought process is. That's not being smart. That's being complacent. That's just freestyling at this point. You said you wasn't having fun. You're going to go back to having fun. Please don't use fun no more. You have stumped that word in the ground so much that it's not even fun to hear when it comes to boxing, because you don't use that. Oh, I wasn't having fun. No, that's an excuse. You was having fun. You was showboating in there with Avanesian. You was doing everything you supposed to do. And thanks to Eddie Hearn's goddamn personal selected doctor, you couldn't even flatline that dude. Now you got Norman Sr. out here saying you hit like a girl. God damn. God damn. You got somebody out here saying oh my goodness. I'm not saying you hit like a girl, but I'm saying that's what he said. It's basically they trying to say your power is just like overrated when it comes to mid-tier competition, mid-level competition. Chukazagan is not supposed to be on the same level you're on, but he was able to go another 12 rounds. So it was some great points made where they said Chukazagan basically earned some points, just like, you know, fighters going here with these big names and they go the distance. Chukazagan, he's earned some points on this boxing fight code going the distance with Boots Ennis twice. Yes, he ended up getting a victory, his 33rd victory, but people are not feeling the power. It seems like the power really isn't there, man. It seems like you ran the fun part in the ground, step on them. You're prohibited from saying that anymore. I'm gonna step on them. When they get the title is over. In and out like don't use that phrase no more. In and out like a robbery. Because we know goddamn well anybody who is in the motherfucking bank for 12 rounds will be locked up. Okay? The police will be out there waiting for your ass, eating anything, eating lunch, goddamn playing goddamn Tetris, Candy Crush. How many more rounds is it? Oh, they're in 10th? Okay, cool. Hey, when we get in the first minute of the 12th, hey, let's just line up at the door, okay? So we can arrest him right then, put the cuffs on him, and take him down for questioning. Because he lied and said he was going to be in and out like a robbery. And it's 3 minutes per round, and he's still in there. So you can't use that no more. Cancel that. No more in and out like a robbery. Nope. No more in and out like a robbery. Robberies do not take 12 rounds. You could not go in there and get this guy up out of there. So now you have to focus on what's next. Is it going to 54 or is he going to stay at 47? Because if by chance he's moving to 54 based off what I said the other day about him having a tough freaking rehydration clause on the day of, per the IBF sanctioning body, and also potentially have to step in there with Norman, who has a high chance of knocking him out. He has a high possibility of knocking Ennis out. Because with all this power he's supposed to have, you got 12 rounds, and he's shown that he can be hit. You know what I'm saying? He's shown that he can be hit. Now, of course, when Brian Norman was knocked down in that fight, right? They're gonna say, well, Boots haven't been down and Norman has. And then also you're gonna have to look at the last fight Norman had and what happened to his opponent. So if Norman brings that same freaking style in there with Boots, it's gonna be terrible. It's gonna be extremely terrible, because another point that Norman Sr. made was that Boots don't like fighting. Boots kind of give off the vibe that he loved having things his way. Just like every time they say, how does it feel for you to have the fight in Philly? Oh man, it feel like, I just get my feet up, feel just like home. I don't have to go anywhere. I get home cooked meals. For real? If you at home, you get home cooked meals. That's amazing. I didn't know that. I know you don't get out of town cooked meals when you at home, but you get home cooked meals. That's wow. You wildin'. But he said he get home cooked meals and he comfortable, kick his feet up and all that shit. I said, okay. All right. You can never get comfortable. A person that you was shoplifting clout from told you can never get comfortable. You could never get comfortable in this. You got comfortable, bro. You got comfortable. I don't know what to tell you. There's still hope, though. Like I said, I'm not going to say, hey, stay at 147 so you can fight Norman. Because, with the aerosexuals who's lying in wait, who's been hiding out behind dumpsters. They've been in the bunkers. You know what I'm saying? In those special dim lit areas, right? You know what they're going to say? He fight Norman and lose. Man, he stayed at the division too long. He was weight drained. They're gonna come with the same Errol Spence narratives that a whole lot of people did to basically devalue Crawford's freaking win. Oh man, he stayed there too long. He been there since the AMs, man. And you just look at his record. He's just been there. How can you have 33 victories and the weight was all around 147 and shit, man? 145, 143. He's been there too long. He's a big welterweight. He should have been moved up, but he was trying to give the people what they want. No, stop it. Stop it. He said, is this article by Chris Williams? Let me go back and check. Damn, they got some exposing pictures out here. Nice photography though. I don't think that article was let me see. Oh yeah. I mean, one of them was, that's amazing. Chris Williams, anything Crawford does, he say, never get comfortable. Crawford advice to Shake Ennis. See, and this is by Chris Williams, but I'm not going to get into that right now because I know he's going to say some hate. He's going to say some hate. Let me see. Ennis' career could hit rock bottom when he takes talented fights at junior middleweight. But I'm not going to get into that. I want to basically roll it over to this other article I seen. About Shakur Stevenson. All right. Shakur Stevenson mentioned something that I talked about with Lomachenko, not really wanting to do things for the boxing fans, right? Lomachenko, of course, he ended up getting back into the championship slot versus his stoppage against George Kambosos. Now, as you go back to when he fought Luke Campbell, which I mentioned earlier, it was one of those situations where he told Mauricio Sulaiman he wasn't fighting anymore. And all these people who were saying that Devin Haney was the next in line, the mandatory, and all, he wasn't. Because pretty much Lomachenko was elevated. And Devin Haney, they made an agreement for him to pick up the WBC title. But we all know when the belt came out, the franchise, that it basically placed the champion, the franchise champion, in a position where he or she didn't have to face his mandatory, preferably he. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where I've seen the franchise belt. He didn't have to face his mandatories. So that in itself was another example of Lomachenko just doing what the hell he wanted to do. Now, he has the IBF title. And truth be told, see anything pretty much lined up for Lomachenko. He fought George Kambosos. This is 18-3 Lomachenko. He fought George Kambosos, like I said earlier today, May of this year. And I don't hear people calling him out. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's going to be running up on a mandatory if the IBF hold him accountable. He's going to be running up on a mandatory that nobody wants to see. So, truth be told, do you think that Shakur Stevenson is going to, I'm not Shakur Stevenson, Vasyl Lomachenko is going to face a voluntary? You know what I'm saying? Do you think he's willing to take the risk? You think so? Because they have him down as the IBF lightweight and the IBO lightweight champion. So Lomachenko has some hardware over there for someone who came off a loss against Devin Haney just a year removed from when he stepped in there with George Kambosos. That's how you fucking rebound right there. Wow. That is how you rebound. You wait till Devin Haney come off the belts and you scoop up the IBO. Boy, they be giving Lomachenko, 36 years old. Boy, they be giving him goddamn them incredible hallmarks. 18 victories, 3 defeats, and 12 knockouts. And he ain't scheduled to fight anybody anytime soon. Serious. Nobody anytime soon. I want to let y'all take this one last video from FightHype.com. It's dealing with Gervonta Davis. It's a fire back at Keyshawn Davis dissing Mom Brothers War of Words. All right. So I'm going to stop it so I can share screen. And I want y'all to see, lastly, I didn't want to pile this all on the front end, else it would have had me just freaking talk about it forever and a day. But this is the back and forth before Gervonta Davis shut down his freaking ex. Okay. So he called Keyshawn his brothers BI. Then Keyshawn responded, "Is you reading? Blah, blah, blah. Send me the contract. You effing Oompa Loompa." Keyshawn respond, "Hope this soft ass don't retire before it happened. It's only one person that can take his spot." And this is from random. "I can't wait till y'all get busy. You mistake me for your mother." It's getting vicious. Getting vicious. You know, Tank, when he started to open up, boy, it's that trash talking. They let that tweet stay up there for a long time. Fight Hype know what they doing. Keyshawn respond, "Oh, you want to talk about mommy? Oh, it's mother time. Bro, you goofy. Look at you, so emotion. I'm gonna beat your ass. Word. You say everything, but you gonna fight me. Mama's in the game. Woo, dirty. We talking that mama talk. They be so humble at first. I guess this is Keyshawn. If it's cool, I'm gonna try to come train out in Vegas with you." That's crazy, yo. If that's indeed Keyshawn.
Najee, Cigar Talk the other day. So shout out to Najee. Tink did a response to the interview. You didn't get the chance to see it.
No, I ain't see it.
He mentioned stop eating, do that, and this little N fighting on Friday night. He's not even worth mentioning. and Buddy's a B, code B, tell him to do something.
Okay.
I mean, you caught Tank's radar right there. I mean, you
Yeah,
feel...
he said I'm not worth mentioning, but can Frank Martin sell 10,000 tickets? Can Lamont Roach sell 10,000 tickets? A lot of these people got something to say, but let's fight. I'm a B word though, nigga. Let's fight.
If he gets an opportunity, I mean, Tank has been tweeting about him today.
What did Tank say?
I mean, you want me to verbatim? I mean, I can give the clean.
Yeah.
That's Keon, who made his debut. Shout out to Keon, 1-0, undefeated right now.
Let me know, because I don't be on Twitter, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, all right, so this is pretty much stop eating, do that, this little N fighting on Friday night. He's not even worth mentioning. And Buddy's a B, code B, tell him to do something.
I ain't gonna lie. Tank gonna say what he gonna say. You know what I'm saying? It's just trash talk for real, for real. Tank know what's up with Keyshawn. They done sparred, you know what I'm saying? They done sparred plenty of times. So it's like, I don't really know, but I'm gonna just leave that as that, you know what I'm saying? But Keyshawn gonna go ahead and punish this guy on Friday, you know what I'm saying? Then whatever Tank come across, we gonna punish him too. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be the same shit.
Awesome. And before I let you go, for the fight fans that tuning in and they wanna, see the full.
Make sure y'all get y'all tickets. And Calvin, tall fighter just like me, left-handed. He about to go in there and fight.
Yeah, I just wanted y'all to see that piece and that was Fight Hype. That piece of little info. It's Monday. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get back to doing what I do. Appreciate everybody for pulling up, of course. Thanks for the ones who shouted me out on Veterans Day. That's all that matters. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you. One love to you. And good looking out. And until next time, man, shout out to the hottest chat in the MF and game.